Good evening, my dear parishioners of St. George. When we look back on our lives, we understand that all the steps and the missteps, the joys and the sorrows, the good times and the bad times, our challenges and successes lead us to the present. It also sets up the path for the future. When I was ordained in December 1991 as a priest, I was not fully aware of the drastic change that would happen in my life. While I understood, especially at that time, that as a celibate priest that I was embarking on a life that was not quite my own, but dedicated to the people of God. Whatever talents, gifts, strengths, and shortcomings I have, God was going to use me for his purposes. Wherever I went, I would keep and reap the benefit of those who went before me, and I will sow the seeds for those who came after me. Each step of my ministry prepared me for the next step. When I was ordained and went to the Parish of St. George in Piscataway, New Jersey, my first parish as a priest, I learned much from my Parishioners, even though I did not know it, and began to know what a parish family was like. When I departed from them and went to the Navy, I learned of ministry to others who were not of our faith, ministry to others who had no faith. It was an honor to serve the men and women of the Marine Corps and the United States Navy. I loved California. And when I got out of the Navy, I asked His Eminence Metropolitan Anthony if he had a position for me in the metropolis, at that time the diocese. At that time, there was only one place available, and that was as the associate priest in Anaheim. And I took it. It became part of the Southern California clergy. In December of 2000, I asked His Eminence for my own parish. And on May 8th, 2001, which probably would live forever in my mind, the unexpected happened. I was being slated for another position, and His Grace Bishop Anthimos gave me a call. Father John, by command of His Eminence Metropolitan Anthony, on June 1, 2001, you will become Parishioners of St. George, Downey. Father John, are you there? Your Grace, I'm shocked. Even though that had been considered for another position, it came as a shock that I was coming to Downey. Number one, I was not very much aware of the parish here of St. George. The only connection that I had with Downey was that I attended a festival in 2000 with my parents. It was not what I was expecting. The silence also, in retrospect, put another spin on this particular conversation. It was the growing realization that I would become the head of my own parish, the Parishioners, the one to lead this parish into a new way of living. I would be, as I found out, the third Parishioners of St. George. The seeds planted and the fruits of my predecessors were now mine to cultivate. I came as the footings of our church building were being poured. But then again, the most important aspect then, as it is now, is you, the people and parishioners of St. George. And in the future, you will be the important part of St. George. Each one of you, as I have said time and time again, is an essential part of the fabric that makes up this parish. We could talk of our physical accomplishments, the ministries that we have, the FDFs that we continually place, but that pales in comparison to us, to you. When His Eminence Metropolitan Erasmus visited this parish in 2005, shortly after his enthronement, I characterized this parish as a family. This is its most enduring quality. We are all interconnected, not by blood necessarily, not by the kubari that we have, but because we are one family, the people of God. And we all seek the best of St. George. For the past 19 years as your proestamenos, you have been my family. I have brought your children on the 40th day blessing as infants into the church. I still remember when we were in the chapel in our hall, and the girls in the front row, who have now become young women in their own right, accomplished women. I baptized your children, I have celebrated your weddings, and as in all families, I have also mourned with you the loss of your family members. I've watched the young people of our parish grow, and my heart bursts with pride for each and every one of you. And now, as we are separated by the coronavirus, that is not of our doing, but as a family, we are surviving, we are making do, and slowly we are coming back to worship together as a family. It is said that change is the only constant in the universe, and change is inevitable. In the beginning of February this year, His Eminence Metropolitan Erasmus announced to the Parish Council of my impending appointment as Chancellor of the metropolis of San Francisco. The date of that appointment was going to be whenever we had a replacement for our parish here at St. George. However, the coronavirus has pushed up that timeline. On June 1st, His Eminence appointed me Chancellor of the metropolis, but that appointment was not made public until last Saturday. What does this mean for the future of our community? For the next 2 months, we will all be in a period of transition. We will be preparing for the arrival of your new priest. As I brought you to this stage with my gifts, my talents, my strengths, and yes, my weaknesses, he will bring his own personality, his own gifts, his own strengths to lead you to a greater reliance on God and to lead you to your next stage of life as a parish. As Chancellor of the metropolis of San Francisco, our paths will cross again and again in a different way. I want to thank each and every one of you for being a part of my life and for letting me be a part of your lives. May God bless you and your families, and may St. George always protect you. Do we have questions? No one has. I will entertain any questions that you might have. George, Demi?
What was your favorite memory at St. George?
Oh, man. There are a lot of favorite memories of St. George, but I can tell you the one that perhaps instilled great pride, not only personally, but also the community, is the day that our Vergina group won sweepstakes at the FDF in the Division 1 sweepstakes. They were the senior group, and usually the sweepstakes is won by the advanced senior, but they were so perfect, so beautiful, so wonderful that, I mean, what else can I say? It was just a moment of pride, not only for myself, but for the community.
If there was one thing you could do all over again, what would it be? In your time at St. George? Putting you on the spot, Father.
You are doing that. What would I do all over again? You're putting me on the spot.
Which festival?
I would be helping Angelo and Agnes with the lambs a little earlier than what I've been doing, chopping up. I don't know if I would do, I'm sure that there's a lot of things that I would have done over again. Next question.
What was your favorite part of the Greek festival, now that we say that? The one that we did in Downey, and what makes it so special and different from other festivals?
You know, usually when you go to festivals, it's more of a commercial endeavor. But Downey, and I hope Downey never loses this particular aspect. The food that we have at the Downey Festival, especially the lambs and the sweets and everything that we do, is done with love. The moussaka, the pasticcio, it's all handmade. And I think that is different from other festivals who have become very commercialized, who buy things already pre-done, but everything is done in-house, and I hope that Downey never loses that particular aspect. We're known for our food, not necessarily for the entertainment and other types of activities that we have, but that's our primary draw. Please, if you're listening, cooks and people who are at the festival, don't change it.
What makes entering this church different from other churches? In terms of the feeling it gives you, or the iconography, or just the overall atmosphere?
One of the things, I think it's the way that the church is designed. There is a greater connection between the people in the pews, because I've sat out here and I've looked at the distance from the pews to the altar, and when I look out, during the liturgies and see everyone, it's like I could wrap my arms around. And it's that connection that you have in the liturgy and in the services with the people that are here. I don't want to say I don't find that with other churches, but when the churches are more long, when the length is greater, you sort of become a little insignificant when you're standing at the altar. So I think the way that this church is designed, it's more embracing. And when you enter from the back, you can feel your soul just ascending into heaven, if you will, because it feels free. It's not constricted.
Father John, has it been decided yet who will take your place, even though you're irreplaceable?
Yes, we do know who is going to take my place. We are coordinating with his present position and our church to announce it simultaneously. We don't want to surprise the other people by announcing it here. I think some people already know, but the official announcement will be made shortly.
Will you be serving at other churches?
Will I be serving at other churches? As Chancellor, I will be traveling to other churches in an official capacity. I will not be substituting or kind of celebrating unless I am sent there by the Metropolitan. So even if I am serving, I will be, of course, as it is now as the Metropolitan, the chief celebrant, but I will be doing it in a different capacity, and not necessarily just because I want to go to church and celebrate there. I'm sure that I will have occasion to visit St. George as well, in an official capacity.
And what advice do you give us to help us grow as a parish?
First of all, your focus should always be on God, to be more of a Christ bearer, a Christian, to love one another, to love others as yourself, to love God most of all. The closeness that you have with God is what is going to sustain you, not only as people of God, but as a parish. Stay united. And this is one thing that, thank God, for the past 19 years, we have not had any situation here that has caused a schism in the parish. Disagreements, yes, that happens in every family. But something that split the community in two has not happened for quite a long time. And that is something that you as a community should also be proud of. That whatever differences there may exist, you work it out together to the glory of God and to the progress of the parish.
What are the responsibilities of a chancellor?
The responsibilities of the chancellor is a very interesting position. It is Game of Thrones analogy, the hand of the king. I am assisting His Eminence Metropolitan Erasmus in the administration of not only the metropolis, but the supervision of all the parishes in the metropolis. I assist His Eminence with the assignment and transfer of priests. I also approve the licenses for weddings, divorces. I also approve those, and just a lot of, for the lack of a better term, bureaucratic processes that go in the administration of any organization.
Where will your office be? Will you be in San Francisco more than here, or vice versa?
I will have two offices. The first will be up in San Francisco. That will be the main office. And I will have another satellite office when I am down in the Southern California area. In Long Beach, they have been so gracious into making an office in one of their new buildings. However, I will not have anything to do with the administration of the parish. They're just giving me an office and the utilities for that, which I thank them on behalf of Metropolis for their efforts. Like I said, you will see me from time to time all over the Southern California. That's it?
I think that's it.
Okay. God bless each and every one of you. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for allowing me into your families and to be a part of your family as you have been part of mine. You'll always be in my heart. God bless you.